should we be concerned, baby dolls, about the nature of this bull market? I've got some amazing stats here for you coming your way. Aren't you curious, just like I am, about how long the stonk market has been running for? How much gains is it up? Is it long or is it short? I have the information here for you amongst many other things. Get ready for this. So first I'm going to show you this chart which you don't understand. It's going to be a bit jiggy and jaggy, but let's actually go through some real stats. This is very important, okay? So the median time for a bull market in the stock market, the S&P, which is the smelly and poor 500, the median time is 30 months, okay? So pretty much 30 months. Now, what they've done is they started it from October 2022. Do you remember? That was the very high inflation print back then. I'll actually show you. And you can go and look at the S&P 500. Let's go back down here. Let's look at October. Remember, this is a daily chart. See this around here. So they pretty much, they measure from the highs to the low, and then they start it from here, okay? So it's been running for, right now, remember the median, the one in the middle, that's what median is. Not average. The average is if you add all of them up and divide by how much you have. The median is you get whatever the one in the middle is. It's 30 months, okay? We've been running for 33 months right now, okay? So it is a bit concerning. You're like, oh crap, we're above the median. But, I don't know, you like big butts just like I do. Big butts make the world go round. Does it justify itself to be running this long? Just a matter of opinion. Some astrology for men and women. I say yes. Because of ass intelligence. AI, quantum, this leap that we're doing with AI, ChatGPT, Grok, the IQ's raising. You know, we've got NVIDIA running with the hardwares. Not the softwares, the hardwares. So it makes sense that we're probably going to get some sort of stretched extension. And it might actually kind of like top out crypto and stocks kind of at the same time. Now, what about the percentage gain we've done? Well, the median return is 84%. We are now up 90%. So you're like, oh, well, we're like at the median in the middle. Now, you know, if this was like any other time in history, you'd probably just want to get out something if you hedge with the stock market. But I don't think we are in this time in history that's like every other time. Remember, every time we have technologies that change the world, it ended with a mania every single time. There is not one case in history where we made life-changing technology and then it just like fizzled. Okay, radio, TV, the internets, not the alternets, the internets. Every time we grew into a mania. Okay, so AI, why would it be any different? It's amazing. It's improving. We're turning pictures into memes. We're turning memes into videos. We're talking to it. It summarizes everything. Friends, even Google McDougal, Dr. Google, it's not even like showing you pages anymore. It's just if you go Google, Google's just scanning the pages for you and spitting AI stuff. It's just kind of like, just, man, it's rinsing out the viewerships in all these other pages, which is just kind of funny, right? What's Google going to end up doing? It might just end up charging websites if you want to become part of the AI. But then how does anybody make money? I don't know. I don't know how the model's going to work, right? So here's the thing. Let's actually go look at the chart, friends. This is the line that I'm going to show you. A very family-friendly line. We're right in the between. You see that? We're literally right in the middle. So what does that really mean, friends? If we are going to... Now, obviously, you and I, we want to run forever, okay? But what would be something where we start to kind of get worried? It might be about here. But what does here really mean? Well, if we're in month 34 like we saw, if we go to month 49, you know, that's about the end of next year. You see that? See that, baby dolls? It's about the end of next year. So if we continue along this line with some sort of like above average, yeah, man, that's a bit nuts. And then what happens? What, we just fall off? Something interesting as well. 1987 here, even though it was a very long run, that was not the US tech bubble, okay? This is June 98. Here is the US tech bubble. You see that? 94 to 98, before we started having corrections. Because actually what ends up happening is, we start kind of like stalling out at the top. It starts like rolling over. But, let's say we do go to near this time duration with our AI. I mean, you roll it over here. Like I said, it's around another 14 months from now. I know, man, there's so many things. I know on one hand, 4-year cycle and everything's moving. But on the other hand, man, the stock market's literally saying the economy is going to boom, man. Like we've been so depressed for so long. Right, so I don't know how this is going to reconcile itself. Also, I've got to remind you, please keep it family friendly over there. Crypto tops out before the stock market. Okay, you know how we know this? I've shown you in the business cycle, the PMI data. Right, you're going to obviously love me for many reasons, but this is one of the reasons you love me, for me doing this hardcore research here for us, where you can see CRP, friends, see the box, the green boxes. This is old season wave 1 and then old season wave 2, the tops. Okay, that's what I show you, the tops. This is top 1, top 2, top 2, top 1, top 2. The stock market, if you look at back here, the stock market did not top out with us. Okay, it looks like it kind of does, but then they end up continuing. Okay, so actually you can see here, October 2021, I think the stock market topped out like here. Yeah, so the stock market takes longer to roll over, like 4 or 5 months. Sometimes even longer, right? I remember in 2017, 2018, it rolled on for even longer. And if you're curious, I can actually show that to you right now. This is what we did from 2017. So this is the top of crypto. Crypto tops out here, then the stocks drop, right? Stocks drop here, but look what it ends up doing. Stocks run up all the way to the end of the year. And then here, that's when crypto starts capitulating with stocks on the way down. It's kind of funny, man. Like stocks, they literally just broke the high. Imagine you're watching this and you're long crypto thinking, oh, it's going to be great. But then everything capitulates. This is where Bitcoin breaks 6K, goes to 3K, all the way down there. Okay. So that's what we might see. So even though you look at this, you might say, oh, this was the danger zone. Yeah, but it comes back up and then it flops out. Which it might mean stocks top out at the end of next year, but crypto's already kind of topped out, or the end of this year. You never know, right? But they go kind of sideways, grinding up. It's very hard to predict, and there's no point really predicting it. We just hope that we get traditional exotic top signals that kind of help us along the way. So if I go back and I show you this in a very family-friendly way once again, we're literally right in the middle, man. Right in the middle before some sort of big minus 20% drop. Is this going to be the big cracker one? Maybe. Like I said, I wouldn't be concerned unless we got here. If we are somewhere in this time period, okay, be careful. Maybe that is the very, very top. But you got to think, man, that's another 12 months next year, August. Right? Maybe we've topped out by then. We'll see. That's why I've even written here, and we need some Pumpy music, don't we? Mogul the non-believers. I am just going to speculate that the AI bubble, still growing larger, will stretch us out longer and for higher returns than now. Just my guess, because we want crypto to pump too. Now, you might be curious, friends. They go, one of your baby dolls the other day asked me, Somi, do you have any information on ChatGPT, OpenAI? Do they have stocks? How much is the company worth? This came out, friends, earlier in this month. They came out. So this guy, friends, could be a reptilian lizard himself, Sam Altman. Okay? Not Sam Altwoman, Sam Altman is an alternative to man. Could be a femboy. Now, oh man, this is wild, dude. In fact, this is the funniest part. He comes out saying, I'm going to give ChatGPT out for free. That's the first thing he said. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, you are the next Satoshi. Anyway, he comes back a day later. He goes, nah, I was actually joking. I'm here to make money. And they said, but you said you weren't in it to make money. He goes, screw you, bro. You want to know why? OpenAI, friends, is considering a secondary share sale for current and former employees. The market cap, they're considering $500 billion. And its previous round was $300 billion market cap. Like, you got to think, hey, but is that big or not, bro? They haven't even opened yet. They're already $500 billion. I feel they're just going to launch at the top. And what about launch? They're just going to IPO at the top. It might be, friends, it might be the biggest IPO freaking of all time. Let me, friends, if you stay here, I'll just find out what it was. It's funny. Saudi Arabia's Aramco got the list of the global IPOs. They raised $25 billion in December 2019. Now, they raised that much, but when they opened up on the market, they were worth 1.7 trillion market cap. Okay, 1.7 trillion. So that might be the target for ChatGPT, 1.7 trillion. Right now, it's 500 billion. Right? You know, just a couple of more booms in the S&P500, just a couple of more nipple tweakings, just a couple of more orange juice cups and parties with rainbows and jelly beans and pizza boxes. We might hit that 1 trillion market cap for them. And then they wait and wait and wait and wait, and then it might splosh, you know. You might say to me, Sammy, how on earth are you going to convince a bunch of retailer plebs to bid this thing at like 2 trillion market cap? Look, man, there's a lot of psyops in there, okay? You just got to convince people they can get a 2x for free. That's it. This is OG Your Friend Simon stuff from 2022 and 2023 videos. I kept telling you, this is true, right? If you can just convince them that they can flip for a 2x, they'll buy anything. They don't care what the evaluation is, yeah? You got to think about, imagine a world where everybody's talking about AI. We now have a couple of sex robots. Maybe the robots, you can't actually fornicate with them. Maybe they can do something like they scratch your back, okay? Like, I can't wait to have like a little robot. I don't know what I would basically choose it as. You know, some sort of little, maybe geisha, Japanese robot woman. She's like massaging your back. You know what I mean? That's probably how it starts. And you say, hey, lady, stop talking for a moment. Put a rubbish bag over her head. You know what I mean? Put a candle on. Play some Marvin Gaye. You know what I mean? Turn it up. We might get to that stage. You never know. Never know. Okay? When we're moving throughout that bull market, that's pretty much... what I'm showing you is a snapshot of the absolute euphoria. But we don't teleport there. You know, there's steps. You know, there's 300 billion, 500 billion. Then there's an AI release. Then there's NVIDIA pumping up more. Then there's more AI companies. Then there's, you know, the cryptos are and everything going up. And tech, FOMO everywhere. Build. Maybe there's like, you know, 200 IQ, ChatGPT, AI, something comes out. And, you know, comment, there's the steps along the way. But there's a snapshot at the top, which, you know, no one compares the top to the bottom. They compare the top from like the second last step from the top. That's how we get to those manias, right? It's funny, they're not going to do the IPO yet. They're just raising at 500 billion, you know? So are they going to open up a 1 trillion? Well, you know, maybe even higher, man. This might be the generational Tesla thing, come from America. This might be this cycle's type of Tesla or Apple, where they're able to basically crush everybody else. And I hope we do get that. That'd be wild, man, if we do get something. Imagine that, man. You just see, friends, I hope we do get this so you can see why we made the crypto industry in the first place. Like, if you're a retailer, the only way for you to bet on this junk is to literally bid a $2 trillion opening company or even 1 trillion. I mean, like, where is the rationality of value? It doesn't matter, man. People aren't buying off rationality. They're buying off, hey, I might be able to flip it for a 2x, just like Pump Fund ICO, right? So, in a nutshell, we aren't expensive. We're right on track. I think we're going to extend. I mean, it's AI, man. It kind of tells us we're going to be running up for 12 months and to see what type of catastrophic blow off. Now, we all know in the stock market, we are going to get this like dead period. Yeah. At some point, we're going to get like what we call the lost decade. If you can see, there's always like a lost decade. You know what I mean? Here we have the 70s and 80s. Okay. Then we have like the AI bubble, go back down, pre-GFC, and then GFC collapse. You see that? So we know at some point we're going to get that somewhere. But from where? That's what we don't know, from where. When is it going to happen? You never know, man. This might be the intergalactic big bull mania run that kind of like stretches us up. Bang. Maybe we do that and we collapse, come back up, things are good, bang. Never know. By the way, that's a loss. That's like 7-8 years, friends, of going up. If you do that right, think about this. See, this chart still goes up huge, but you do in 1933 to like, you know, that's 8 years of pretty much, you know, going sideways. Or even if this thing comes back down here, you're not going to like this 1931 to, you know, that's like 8 years pretty much poop. And then 10, 11 years. I'm just drawing, you know, astrology symbols and guessing here, but it's AI, man. It's AI. It's literally like This is the big one. This is the biggest one we've ever seen up to this point in humanity. We're replacing workers, man. We're literally replacing workers. They don't sleep. They don't eat. Yeah? They don't need a shower. They're literally economic agents. And they're freaking smarter than humans. You get the possibilities here? We're literally slicing and dicing our concept of economies. That's how big this thing is. Now, when you have such a big thing idea, we don't just go to fair value. You can't. We've got to like blow the roof off. We have to, you know. It would be wild, man, if like, yeah, we got 1 or 2 cycles left for crypto and we have the big blow off one. You know, it's interesting. I remember GCR, because I was thinking about this too. He thinks basically everything collapses after Bitcoin hits gold's market cap. That's like the ultimate test. And then Bitcoin like collapses after that. And then we have to run back up in the next cycle. That might be, but that's a long way away, man. I think that's that's a $1 million Bitcoin now. Yeah, if Bitcoin matches gold, because that's 22 trillion market cap, you know. So I don't know. We're a long way away from that. For now, though, you can see we got nothing to worry about. We literally have nothing to worry about. We can see that AI and the undertone of everything and how far we've gone. We're already at the median now. Yeah, man. We can make a case for a crypto extended cycle as well, depending on the stock market. But like I mentioned to you, remember I mentioned to you earlier, crypto peaks before stocks. Could peak 5 to 6 months before stocks do the whole roly-poly rollover. Okay, that's always another possibility. Praying that crypto goes moonshot to 10 trillion and Tai Lopez returns and we raise billions of dollars for public ICOs and hopefully exotic top signals guide us along the way. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you in the next one.